Weeks after President Trump met with Xi Jinping, the FBI launched a coordinated crackdown that took down a dozen websites. An enforcement action official say targeted a covert network and demonstrates heightened vigilance against foreign influence operations on U.S. soil. U.S. authorities allege the operation uncovered a secretive Chinese recruitment network embedded inside the United States, a discovery that raises fresh concerns about Beijing's long-term human intelligence and influence-building strategies abroad. Investigators say Chinese agents used those networks to extract sensitive information from U.S. officials and contacts, a tactic that intelligence services warn could compromise policymaking, national security, and key diplomatic correspondences. Operatives reportedly lured targets with fake job offers, unusually large payments, and sophisticated AI-driven deception techniques, illustrating how modern recruitment campaigns combine traditional tradecraft with cutting-edge technology to manipulate and harvest information. Some analysts caution the disruption fits into a broader pattern of Beijing waging an information and influence campaign against America, efforts aimed at shaping perceptions and policy ahead of any future coercive moves in the Taiwan Strait, according to security experts. The FBI is conducting a major crackdown on more than a dozen websites alleged to have links to Chinese agents, and operational authorities say targets a covert online ecosystem used to identify, approach, and exploit U.S. contacts for intelligence and influence purposes. Those websites are accused of being actively used by suspected Chinese operatives to recruit both former and current U.S. officials, a tactic that investigators warn could blur the lines between legitimate consultancy work and clandestine collection activities aimed at sensitive policy channels. Several unnamed individuals reportedly operated these sites as fronts for fake consulting companies, creating elaborate cover stories and professional facades designed to appear credible while concealing the network's true sponsors and objectives. According to allegations, the websites sought to obtain sensitive information in exchange for payments, effectively turning professional outreach into a transactional intelligence gathering scheme that preyed on financial incentives and career opportunities. CNN reported details of the alleged scheme on June 11th, describing how the operation used sophisticated recruitment techniques and highlighting the broader concern about foreign espionage conducted under commercial pretenses. The recruitment pages advertised roles such as defense analyst and international affairs analyst, job titles crafted to attract individuals with access to classified or policy-relevant knowledge and to lend legitimacy to the outreach. Investigators say the recruiters specifically sought information about U.S.-China ties and sensitive diplomatic flashpoints such as Iran and the Israel-Palestine conflict, topics that could provide Beijing with actionable insights into American strategy and vulnerabilities. Once targets were engaged, recruiters reportedly pressed them for insider or exclusive information, details that would be difficult to obtain through open sources and that could prove valuable for strategic decision-making or covert influence operations. Authorities have identified 7 individuals whom they believe were recruited through the alleged network, a figure that underscores both the reach of the operation and the seriousness with which U.S. counterintelligence agencies are treating the case. The FBI assesses that those running the scheme are based overseas and were operating on behalf of the Chinese government, a conclusion that, if substantiated, would mark the campaign as a state-directed effort to harvest information and shape outcomes from within the United States. The Justice Department said the people behind the websites have denied any links to a foreign government, insisting their operations were independent while investigators continue to probe communications for corroborating evidence and motive. The FBI reported the network used cryptocurrency and foreign bank accounts to fund its operations, a financial pattern officials say was likely designed to obfuscate payments, complicate tracing, and sustain covert recruitment across borders. As of June 11th, it remained unclear whether any classified material had been shared through the alleged plot, with authorities still reviewing digital records, interviewing potential targets, and assessing the sensitivity of information exchanged. This is not the first time a scheme like this has been reported, and counterintelligence officials note that similar patterns of covert recruitment and online deception have appeared in earlier investigations. In 2025, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service released a shocking report detailing a similar operation. The report documented attempts by foreign actors to recruit federal employees, an alert that prompted agencies to heighten vetting and insider threat safeguards. That report alleged foreign operatives sought to capitalize on the Trump administration's mass layoff plans, exploiting fears of job loss by offering seemingly lucrative alternative opportunities to vulnerable personnel. Investigators say conspirators frequently copied data and photos from legitimate companies to produce convincing scam websites, a tactic that made their recruitment pitches appear professional and lowered suspicion among prospective recruits. CNN's story detailing the recent takedown appeared nearly a month after President Trump's bilateral meeting with Xi in Beijing, a timing that has prompted public scrutiny and debate over whether high-level diplomacy and espionage activity sometimes accelerate in parallel. China began flight trials involving the J-35 and J-15T amid reports that both fighter aircraft are nearing carrier-ready status. New footage showed China's Fujian aircraft carrier conducting advanced fighter flight operations during ongoing sea trials. J-15T and J-35 fighters were seen carrying out touch-and-go landings at sea, according to Military Watch magazine. The drills marked an important step toward the Fujian carrier achieving full operational readiness later this year. Touch-and-go operations allowed pilots to practice the most demanding phase of carrier-based flight operations. The PLA's training focused on approach control, deck alignment, and precision touchdown procedures at sea. The exercises also tested Fujian's landing aids, control systems, and coordination between flight and deck crews. Joint operations suggested Fujian had progressed beyond basic sea trials and entered air-wing integration testing. China appeared to be developing a mixed carrier air-wing combining stealth fighters and heavy strike aircraft. The PLA's J-15T offers longer operational range, larger payload capacity, and an upgraded radar system. Meanwhile, the J-35 brings fifth-generation stealth capabilities designed for operations in heavily contested environments. Together, the two aircraft could provide China with a broader range of options in future naval missions. The drills followed reports that J-35 fighters were also tested aboard China's Liaoning aircraft carrier. The development indicated Beijing may eventually equip older carriers with fifth-generation combat aircraft. China's expanding carrier program is widely viewed as part of its long-term power projection strategy. China's PLA Navy has entered what analysts describe as a new era of fifth-generation carrier aviation, as Beijing moves to integrate advanced stealth aircraft into its growing fleet of aircraft carriers. Reporting by Chinese state broadcaster CCTV revealed that both the J-35 stealth fighter and the J-15T have successfully adapted to ski-jump carrier launch operations, marking a significant milestone for China's naval aviation program. The J-35 and J-15T have now been integrated with the Liaoning aircraft carrier's Stober launch system, allowing the aircraft to operate from carriers that do not rely on catapult-assisted takeoffs. According to Chinese reports, these aircraft are expected to be deployed across the Liaoning, Shandong, and the newer Fujian carriers, expanding the operational flexibility of China's carrier fleet. Military analysts say the development could pave the way for coordinated multi-carrier strike group operations, enabling China to sustain air power across larger areas of the Indo-Pacific region. For the first time, the J-35 brings a fifth-generation stealth capability to China's carrier-based air wing, potentially enhancing the PLA Navy's ability to operate in contested environments. Alongside the J-35, the J-15B provides multi-role strike capabilities, while the J-15D is designed to support electronic warfare missions and suppress enemy air defenses. Airborne early warning aircraft are expected to work alongside these fighters, completing a layered carrier air wing structure designed to improve detection, coordination, and combat effectiveness. The combination of stealth fighters, strike aircraft, and support assets could allow China to project air power beyond the first island chain and operate more effectively in complex maritime environments. Earlier versions of the J-15 faced restrictions in payload capacity and operational range when launching from ski-jump carriers, limiting their effectiveness during demanding combat missions. Analysts believe the integration of the J-35 addresses one of the PLA Navy's most persistent carrier aviation challenges, potentially giving even China's older carriers a far more capable combat air wing.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
the fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.